unsung hero. At times we've had moments from Laurie as well, of course, Sonda, who is winning hearts and minds throughout. But they have to face off against G2, who, as said, were forged in these grand finals. This is their home territory, let alone in Berlin, let alone on Pearl. Let's get it underway. G2 on the attack, Shopify Rebellion on the defending side. Let's see what they can do with a grand final in front of them.
Stacked up with 5 here, looking as if it's going to be a contact play here. Potentially Petra almost considering the Prowler. Benita does get the information early enough here. No rotation coming through just yet, and I think actually, yeah, there with a couple more members of G2 spotted. I might pull, but it looks like Shopify might even just commit to a little bit of a retake here.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if anyone's willing to commit around this time. Benita might be left, not necessarily to rot, but, you know, do what you can. I don't know, does at least debate. But Mary's just dug out 2 kills. From where has Mary just got this? How dare us keep our eyes on anyone but Mary? As now KP and Flowerful just a little baffled as to what the hell's just happened. It was looking like it was posturing for that slower retake style, but now better get going. Giuliano gets the contact, the swing comes out. They're waiting for that next step. KP puts one on the board, looks for another, doesn't get it. Flowerful though does find Petra, and now Mary, are you seriously gonna get the ace started? No, and it will be down to the last 2 to add security, and they do just that. G2 off to a good start.
Like I said, it looked like Shopify were sitting a little deeper there, waiting for somebody to overstep the mark, maybe push towards backside or towards elbow, but Mary just rips 2 kills. I think actually towards Link.
It must have been, because I'm pretty sure Benita was playing pretty safe here. Let's have a little watch of this.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, Mary's looking dangerous. Ooh. Not a bad start at all. And, hey, that's, you know, Chamber being now propped up. It's ridiculous.
Almost deserved the ace.
Yeah, honestly, scary at that point.
Would have been the second for her. Remember what happened the other day on Ascent. So around Flowerful, potentially going to be tested early on here. Going to pick up this close angle. Mary spots it out pretty quickly though. Yeah, let's play a little defensively here. Down to 35 HP. G2 just look to pile on the pressure here. Only one member of Shopify coming across here as Laurie to try and help out with an early flash potentially.
Yeah, patient work coming in, and G2, let's see what the timing is. Mary just farming. We might just need the solo POV of Mary at this point, who's having a mad start here. Okay, 4 players left for Shopify Rebellion, looking to find their way through. And the gap in the smoke, it's deadly. Petra punishing Sonda. And all said and done, yeah, they have no idea. It's a slaughter. Comfortable for G2 so far. Shopify need to find a bit of stability here with the Prime Gaming Flawless coming in. Could rattle them. It wasn't a big round. This is the one that matters.
Yeah, Mary actually 2 away from the Tour de Force already, so options here. They do want to try and pick up an orb early on. See now Sonda actually comes straight across the B long here with Laurie as well, so we'll see what happens in the early round, but like you said, this gap actually working out perfectly for Petra, and nothing really for Shopify to do but waterfall out from heaven. Problem being, this early presence shown towards B has actually drawn 3 members of Shopify to that side of the map. Flowerful to pick up the slack in mid, but Benita
not too much stress.
will be called upon here.
It feels like poor Benita has been having all the attention so far drawn her way when she was soloing towards B, for example, at the very start, and everything else. So a lot of pressure put on Benita's shoulders. I see G2 working up that 3-2 split towards A.
Giuliano making use of the TP there, actually to split through up, but glance just swings onto Benita.
Yeah, confidence. And this is what's scary about G2, is that they start getting more and more confident. That is now a rifle removed. They're down to 4 remaining. And these are all upgrades that I'm sure G2 would love to get. And they're happy to take a couple of fights here. It's all filtering in through from CT. 2 towards Pit, 2 towards the alley. Lovely response. Flowerful going to do some damage. Waiting on the next piece of utility. Mary does not care, could not stop if she wanted to. Just seems bound for greatness as KP. Might be time to look at options of keeping that rifle, Mike.
Again, considering holding on to it, 3 members of G2 still standing. Actually, with those kills, Mary going to have the Tour de Force available, so an opportunity to really build up some finances early. Problem being, again, with this setup, Shopify are trying to address that B-long control, as I was alluding to earlier on in the round, but Benita's got to play her life there.
Yeah.
If the commitment is to that retake and prioritizing B-long, need to make sure that have that controller available for the retake. fantastic stuff. 8 and 2 so far.
Christ.
Just farming.
And do you know what? I think a lot of us, if you watch G2 come to this point, you saw when Zaz stepped away from the roster, obviously there were question marks of who the hell can ever fit that role. Zaz brought so much to the team. She looked fantastically suited to Valorant as well. And then they somehow found someone like Mary. I don't know where they find someone like Mary, but they did, and it's paid off. It's unreal. And hearing that ring through, you'll know how well she is doing in round 4 already. Tour de Force coming through.
Another lineup for Juliana as well with the TP. We'll see where this ends up. Is that the sound it makes?
Yep. Yeah, Benita again. Benita could have either a great game or a really harsh game.
Yeah.
It's one of the two. And the rifle's on KP, so she has to be the one to find value to this. The other's not really set up for the same sort of success. And the pressure starting to mount. So the frenzy not going to be enough to do it. Mimi's there. And again, look at the buy here. We do have the Sheriff, so this isn't a full purchase or anything of the such. And now the pressure comes through. And Glance just so cool under it. There's the trade for KP. Needs a lot more, though. Tagged up, 12 HP. Horn goes up, and Mary unafraid. Yeah, KP's being warded away again.
I think there's going to be any option for KP to find value with this. Powerful, though. They come through. Not a consolation onto Mimi, but 3 members of G2 still standing. Mary should be able to retrieve one of these weapons at least, even if it is the Bulldog from Glance. And KP with 12 HP. And try and hold on to this rifle once again for G2. Because if they want to establish themselves very early on here on Pearl, I like what I saw in the first buy round from Shopify. Like I said, that full consideration, the bigger picture, not really considered, makes it so much more difficult to retake onto that site. Well, actually, Shopify going to start exploring towards mid. Such a cheeky little off angle here from Glance as well.
Nice. Yeah, so when we talked about the first round cycle hitting, obviously that's when they went for that overwhelm towards that A site. Worked out really well, but Benita got isolated very quickly. Now we need to see what they have up the sleeve here. This has to be Shopify Rebellion getting a grip on the game, because so far they have been truly just dictated to. They've had very little say in the outcome of the vast majority of these rounds. We are seeing aggression, and actually it could work out well this time. Sonda, though, left in, I guess, a questionable commitment. How far do we hold this? That triple stack up long has actually held some value this time.
Petrol stop just on the other side of this trap. Difference being Flowerful here actually to try and hold down the fort with Benita. This tour de force.
Look who's behind them. They turn around in time. Sonda does deal with Giuliano. There's pressure throughout the map, but they're not really overcommitting. The spike is still by spawn, but it's going to be on Benita. Nice play around the smoke this time. Keeps cool, keeps composed. Needs to keep her life, and she does. Takes one with her as she backs away towards pit. Looking for the follow-up on Petra. Just biding time, buying precious seconds for support, and they are here now. Finally, she's not alone.
Shot for Flowerful as well. Mary eventually coming through with that operator. Headhunter in hand now. Going to try and challenge with Flowerful. Good for another shot with that tour de force. Benita standing her ground this time. Again, not afraid to challenge. Maybe slight overstep into that smoke. Again, I'm liking the adjustment already. Whether or not I'm going to see this pyro. Juliana just trying to TP into the back lines. Again, not really paying respect to that triple stack.
No.
Maybe thinking that on the back of no contact, just a little trade-off of utility that Shopify would peel away from that position. Maybe leave one posted up deep.
Good on, guys.
That's exactly it. Let's find out if they can find that again, replicating some of these successes from that previous round. I also want to see how G2 respond in kind. Is that lovely evolution here? And Flowerful.
Got to be careful here.
And there's a swing. Giuliano is closing in on this. Unbeknownst to Flowerful. Yeah, gonna dip away. Doesn't decide to stick around. Petra in the meantime took so much play and so much space through middle as they were kind of working through art and in similar scenes. So a bit of an exchange there, but a 1-for-1 trade. Yeah,
very quickly traded out. G2 actually have to try and recover the spike here. Look at the minimap, seeing a TP being sent all the way to spawn. Giuliano actually commits to it. I think we did see a fake earlier on, maybe round 2, or the pistol for this.
Benny could be so
Benita is going to be completely caught off guard here.
Yeah, no idea that this has happened. Responding with patience. Juliano waiting to see if he could maybe even find more, but no. That one victim more than enough, and sadly, it falls down to the two who are kind of tucked towards Art, looking for that way back in. KP one of them, and Sonda the other. Cross now caught. Glance goes down, ball goes up. And a little bit of a fight, but taking a lot of damage, yeah. I'm looking at Giuliano again. The assassin in the night. Rez comes out. Back up to superior numbers by a substantial margin. And the last two players don't really have much of a say in this. Ooh, come on, Flowerful, as if you do that.
I was about to say, that's such an awkward angle to have to crouch through with the operator.
Way.
Still lands the shot, though. Again, with KP down to 21 HP, might just be the decision to hold on to these weapons. Giuliano, again, I said that early conditioning with TP, and I believe it was round 2. All the way into the spawn. A couple of people checked it, but didn't pay too much mind to it this time around. Gets right into the back lines. Punishes Benita. No real recovery factor there. Like you said, 2 members stacked over towards Art. There's just nothing you can do in that scenario. There'll be another round on the board for G2. Shopify should be okay for a purchase here. Flowerful carrying across 5,500 KP. Putting across 3K. Actually, Sonda with the ultimate as well. We're not going to try and build something in the early round around that. Again, a part of the map that Shopify haven't really looked to show presence just yet. And Petra punishing that.
Yeah. Yeah, these are all learning lessons. I feel like they're starting to really paint a picture. That shot, very nice from Flowerful. Really, at least getting that kept in the hands. But when we talk about the fact that, yes, they know what Giuliano can potentially achieve on this Euro, you talk about preparation time. They are, out of the fire yesterday and straight back into it today. There is very little rest for the Wicked for Shopify Rebellion, so their prep time may be somewhat limited here, but we'll have to see what they've been able to learn during the moments past. Giuliano doesn't actually check on this. Doesn't know of that third player.
Doesn't know the third player, yeah. Yeah,
I think Sonda's still unchecked, but she's committed to this. Giuliano just going to crunch them down. There's going to be the flash, and here comes the crunch. Laurie deals with the back line. Giuliano gone. Laurie somehow found the second two, and Sonda went absolutely mad on that one. Laurie is still holding this together by the finest of margins. She needs to get the hell out of there.
KP actually very quickly behind this. As soon as Mary's fallen, that trap. Not going to pause any pressure here for her. Laurie, though, actually able to reset. Still actually on 100 HP. Gets the 4th on the round here.
Yeah, Laurie is having a tear. This is a fantastic round and isn't going to be able to get it. Oh, my God, Mimi. That's 2 in this round. And 1 more to find. KP has full utility. Everything that she needs. This is now going to reveal Mimi's position. Decay down, Prowler in, the gap closing. And KP holds her nerve. Diffuse going to come in, but that got so dangerous.
Again, we noted it as well. Giuliano able to get right behind this setup outside A, not noting the third player, but it's Laurie to dig her heels in, stand her ground here, pick apart G2 ahead of that execute. So KP, no hesitation there with the flank, and it just so happens Mary falls at just about the right time for it. It's still possibilities here. I mean, Sonda, yeah, popping the ultimate, but Shopify now. A couple of ultimates online. G2, yes, as well. The Cosmic Divide.
Cool. Or he could have had even more there if she had just a couple bullets in the mag. What a bailout round there at the end.
Even the awareness from Mimi to plant backside there. Best possible shot of that one, even with the C's coming through.
Once he's behind it, we do have a timeout coming through here, it seems. Having a little conversation. Talking through chances and options. I think so far, let's kind of then take a little bit of a step back to that first conversation that we had about this map, this first map coming in being Pearl, and what that's kind of done now that we've seen, we've seen a handful of rounds. It's not quite enough to fully have a picture here. But what do you expect? How is this kind of meeting your expectation, at least from the Shopify side of things? Let's start.
Yeah, the thing is whenever you're playing against the Yoru, it kind of feels a little risky to kind of commit somebody towards that backline, right? Making sure that Giuliano's not going to TP all the way into spawn and cause these problems. But what I want to see is Shopify kind of carry on what we've seen towards B-Long, right? The commitment towards taking that space or denying that space to G2. Even getting some sort of idea about the default. At the minute, we haven't really seen any focus towards mid. Petra's punished from there previously. The problem being, we've already seen one example of kind of Benita falling when she's on that hard anchor position, right? I'm not even talking about the kill to Giuliano. Previously, where actually G2 swing through onto A, it's just kind of fully committed to that first angle. If you're going to kind of prioritize one side of the map, one area of the map, I don't want to see them kind of giving away that numbers advantage.
Okay, but... Okay, so how is this hitting on your expectation overall then? Because we came into this saying that this could be a barometer of if this could be a close series or not, because, again, Pearl does stand on its own to a degree. Having that benefit of the veto going very favourable for G2 in that upper side of things. Is this a good enough performance so far from what you've seen? A couple of bits and pieces here. It's only 2 rounds, sure, but we have been seeing a couple more looks here. Is it still not enough for you?
I think we'd have a better gauge at the end of the first half. Yeah. I think that's fair to say. Obviously, Shopify here, this is probably the side that G2 are going to look to cause more chaos, a little more problems, and force Shopify onto the back foot. So again, we're seeing this triple stack towards B-Long. G2 actually. Spike not committed just yet, so a little bit of a probe. But he's in that same position once again towards dugout, though. Giuliano. Looks as if she's going to try and set up a TP lineup here. Probably into the back lines once again.
Petra this time does get met by a little bit of force. You can see the Prowler committed through command, so that's kind of confirming it. But Mary was on her own exploration mission. She wasn't really joined by anyone and has been able to find Flowerful. And now you can see the commitment there. This is a problem. Divide's going to go up as well. Giuliano, dirty angle to play with here, but on the other side of that wall, timing is everything, and they might just miss each other. Sonder says hello! Says goodbye to Giuliano. Deals with that threat in the back, but still G2 are moving towards the site itself.
Again, enough of a distraction here to at least get the plant down. The wall to reinforce this hold towards Art as well. KP going to try and deal with it quite early on. Look how deep the hold is from G2. Yeah, Shopify got to move fast here.
They need to clear sight pretty quick so they can address that deeper post-plant positioning. But of course, Shopify Rebellion don't know that yet. They have no idea. They're going to pop the ult off the back of Laurie. Try and clear that cubby. Still need to deal with default on site. Petra is here. Now she may be dead to rights, but she buys a couple of seconds. And now we look towards that deeper post plant. The wall goes up, coming down from Sonder. That's not a bad idea. They're getting more than half. They ain't stopping. They've got to deny it, and they can't.
The no command, the catalyst here. Again, Petra just left out on an island. No real chance of a trade coming through there. Has to try and get something done. Again, credit to Sonder. I thought she might have been even close enough to hear the TP roll past into spawn. Again, this is the sort of diligence it requires. You have to come and hard check. And this is on the back of Mary finding this pick and almost feeling like they're going to draw the rotation. So it's a risky time for Giuliano to commit to this. Beautiful cleanup. Sonder going huge on that retake.
And it's humbled the money from G2, so that's put them down to the Sheriffs and a couple of Guardians. This could be enough to at least tie up the score, kind of aim to get in that all even again. G2 going to be put to work here. Once again, Petra going through the motions, but doesn't get to see the full picture of what's around that corner.
Oh, well, actually, Sonder and KP got a little bit of a crossfire set up here.
Bring them down.
G2 looking to pressure on both sides as well towards B-Long. Maybe might even have a, Will Spot picks it out of place. Don't want to commit to it just yet, though. Look at the collapse from Shopify. Desperate to try and find this kill on the weaker side of the setup from G2. But good progress towards B site here, and Giuliano once again commits to the TP.
Yeah, let's see if she can make mayhem out of it already. Laurie has been just blunted on the site. There it is. Petra still playing towards middle. We're down to 3. Benita, Flowerful, and Sonder. And Giuliano's position is a problem because Benny walks right into it, unawares. And the follow-up should be a trade. Good. Flowerful at least gets us back to a 2v2, but it's still these deeper positions, and Sonder's HP is so low. So little to play with in this, but wants to try and get it going. Mary's still standing, and she is terrifying. All goes through for Sonder. They should note some of this. How close can she get? The crossfire's decent for this. Glance should take contact. Actually able to find the 1v1, and now it's getting messy. Flowerful with enough time to defuse. I thought the crossfire could have held there, but seemingly not finding those angles to work together.
Yeah, committing pretty deep on that hold. But once again, though, Sonder with the fast lane to come through, cut off those sight lines, and then just almost running bait for Flowerful, who closes it out comfortably. You see the commitment, though, from Sonder in terms of that mid-hold. It's a perfect bait. The Guardian, the worst possible weapon to have in that scenario, even though Sonder is 5 HP.
Yeah, just puts herself out for trade. No problem there. 4 to 5. We've now got 3 in a row, right? This is starting to look much better.
I mean, we had that conversation in the timeout. Now, actually, it's within touching distance for Shopify to come back, tie things up, potentially put G2 in an awkward position in terms of the finances. Not even sure that Mary had caught a little bit of a flash. And Spike not committed either way, so G2 looking to probe on both extremities here. A very, very deep hold from Flowerful as well. Doesn't want to entertain anything. Gotta be careful of that TP though. Won't be in audio range here.
Look at Sonder. They're already starting to work through middle just as I think it was Petra fell off this. They are quickly clearing, so they're aware. They're starting to lean towards the side. Flowerful ready for one, but a quick trade from Mary.
Mimi in spawn.
Absolutely, Mike's the spike's been left here. Mimi completely none the wiser. How would you ever expect that? 2 players now have the spike in spawn, and all of that progress towards B now might as well go in the bin.
Actually, Cosmic Divide committed here. Shopify want to tie things up. They know they can break the money of G2. Glanzo on the backstab. This isn't going to be considered whatsoever. Laurie will fall to that.
35 seconds though, Mike. They've got to go fast here.
That was really on Mary and Petra to get something done here. Benita going to catch Glance here in astral form. Makes it even harder here. Mary's found the opener though.
Sonder, better get ready. They're going to go for the fight on this. 18 seconds, pops out! Sprays and praise, and someone's answering. Shopify Rebellion, bringing the scoreline back in the most unorthodox round.
And this is exactly the sort of thing I'm talking about. As soon as Shopify feel a little bit of commitment from G2 on one side of the map, they explore mid. Absolutely shutting that down. Even catching, like I said, Spike not committed at all. Mimi has to run all the way back into spawn. Unfortunately, close enough there for the audio cue to be given away. Another example, though, Mary, seemingly, I guess in terms of this head-to-head, question the value, yes, but coming out on top of Flowerful a couple of times here, even though Flowerful is leading the charge here, 11 and 7. Actually, Mary for G2 is on 14 and 7.
Yeah, Mary's still doing her damage, right? She's still doing her work. I don't think we can look towards that. I think it's the collective approach from G2 that we're starting to look at here, that validity of having, the Euro to this. It feels like so far Shopify have a good read on it after that little timeout. Well,
this is why I mentioned before this map, though. If Flowerful's going to put up a good performance here, it enables Flowerful to become the anchor, right? To become the one to hold down one extremity, maybe post up a little deeper, and that should put Shopify in a position to capitalize on this space in mid, potentially towards A, where G2 haven't lent too often just yet.
I would say the one thing as well is, though, G2, even in their best of games, I still think they never won as clean as like your Cloud9 White, right? They never had that clean game. But this is a little bit more of a brawl. Actually, a little bit more of a battle than I expected. Like, these rounds are looking good. It's not just the usual G2, like, hey, they've just gambled a couple of fights here and there. No, no, no. This is actually a bit of a fight back.
We haven't seen G2 actually resorting to brute forcing onto sites
Not yet. Not yet. It's you know it's in the bag of tricks. They're waiting to pull it out. We saw like one dry swing on like Benita, but beyond that, it is just kind of business as usual. And it looks like a bit of an all-in. Just kind of playing as a pack animal, going to be working towards that B site, at least for now.
Shopify feel as if this is something they can play their way, though. Another push towards mid here early on. Don't see anybody on B overstep the mark just yet, though. Laurie puts out the knife, and that's actually a big indicator that G2 is still kind of funneled towards long here. No presence elsewhere, it's just the trap.
Big
kill from Mary.
Mary takes out Laurie, but the trade is there for Benita, so they haven't got the player advantage yet. Rifle recover too. Mary taking a lot of space here. Could try and secure the site to allow that plant to come in. Spike going to be going down. So time's on this side, but keep in mind there's still 2 Sheriffs, Mimi and Glance, both with those. It's not ideal, so you do need Mary and Giuliano to be doing the damage here. Backline now being pressured. Sonder, the one to hit the flank here. Divide goes up, Benita finds Mimi. Starting to work him down, but line him up. And Giuliano will knock them down. Pops the ult, drifts away. Now the last two working in unison off long. Mary going to be relayed the information and the readjust from Giuliano towards short.
One enemy
Commits to the TP as well.
This is bold play, but it's actually worked out, giving them the player advantage and a really nasty angle to have to clear for Sonda if she gets past Mary. And the follow-up needs to be quick. Sonda, not going to happen. Giuliano. Brilliance between her and Mary here.
Huge round. Giuliano just creating so much chaos and playing so reactively around that Cosmic Divide to send the TP back behind Shopify. Fantastic stuff with the ultimate. And Mary just holding down the fort from elbow. And this is, I believe, actually only off the 2 weapons to come into this. And Benita, a couple of other members of Shopify, dealing with the wall so early on as well. Fantastic round from G2.
You do see a little bit of the difference, don't you? That, you know, the young Lion Mary just loving it, coming alive in these rounds. The others very focused. And now we see what Shopify Rebellion can do. Similar test, a little bit of a different look, but oh, the timing. Great from Flowerful. She'll be loving that. Finds Mary for free of all players.
I was talking about Flowerful in this round is the solo anchor. Need to see Shopify achieve something elsewhere on the map. That trap going to be back up, so Benita and Sonda going to be revealed pretty early on. Need to get their skates on.
Bring them down.
A million miles away from this execute right now.
Didn't spot Flowerful with the Prowler. So this could be an unknown angle to potentially worry about. Flowerful, okay, wall goes up, so loses a little bit of the danger from that position, but actually still, twice this round now takes down Mary. Spike's got down, Flowerful! What the hell was that? Finds Petra, 5 HP, but still fragging. Looking for a follow-up. Okay, finally dealt with. Quick trade.
Traded.
Yeah, Giuliano lifted a 1v4. It's done for. Shopify Rebellion holding on to this game.
Looking deadly on that retake. Again, Flowerful just having a massive round. Talking about that 1v1 coming out. Mary, I guess, numerically feels like coming out on top of it, but when it matters, Flowerful finding the impactful kills in this round.
And I can't believe how close this game got. I was worried at the start. I think a lot of us were looking like might have had a blowout on map 1.
This is the map that you feel G2 will probably want to try and stretch their legs, right? Start this series off as they mean to carry on and set a precedent. But it looks like yesterday Shopify came to play.
I can't believe we're seeing it again, potentially. This is quite something. I do want to wait till we get into the depths of this entire game. Of course, it is a longer series. But Analyst Desk, first glance towards this. What are your thoughts?
You gotta love an underdog story, Pansy and Hypok. It's 6-6 at the half. Kakuka, I thought it was gonna be a lot worse than that after the first few rounds.
Oh yeah, completely. Especially since G2 was able to get that 4 in a row, practically unpunished by Shopify. And I wanted to take a look at something that we expected it to happen, which is Giuliano with the cheeky picks, you know, with the cheeky TPs, having that control over the map. This is round 6, and the way that they, as I said, work around the map. Look at the position from Giuliano. This is something that we saw happening against C9 over and over again, and something that Shopify actually adapted to later in the game.
Yeah, and I think that's such an important point, right? Being able to adapt like that and still put 6 on the board. Look, we've been talking about it all week long. Shopify have had a slow start, but the fact that they're able to stay in the game and come back into the second clutch after clutch is going to be huge. I'm looking straight at Sonder into the second half, specifically on Pearl and on that Neon. Her pathing on this map is spectacular. I think with the flashes, with those long-range pop flashes in KO, Lori in tandem, it should be Sonder who's going to be able to party in the backlines and create that havoc and pressure onto G2.
Yeah, I mean, the difference with the Neon and the Yoru here is that the Neon can kind of do the same job as Yoru, but completely on an aggressive note. Like, she can go in with the execute with her team, whereas it feels like with Yoru, Giuliano is definitely trying to, you know, kind of sneak her way back there. And I think going forward, like, it's kind of becoming somewhat predictable, it looks like, for Shopify, and they've kind of learned how to play around it. And so I really agree. I think Sonder's Neon is going to be doing work for sure.
Yeah, watch out, because the last time that we saw Shopify playing on this map, we talked about how explosive their attack was, but they were playing against a double controller composition. That differs a lot from what we see here on our screens. I think that also the Sage has been playing a crucial part into how the map has been worked out. So watch out, it's not going to be as easy as the other day.
I have no idea how the second half is going to go, and I can't wait to find out. Let's jump back into game with Pansy and Hypok.
Let's go for it. Again, we are now just learning if Shopify Rebellion really have that dog in them, because how the hell are they pushing on this map? Mike, we looked at the veto, we went, okay, map 1, G2. I think it's a reasonable thing to assume. They've come out swinging today.
They have indeed. And actually, just want to touch on something Athena mentioned, which is that support system around Sonder. Compositionally, this feels like actually coming into the attacking half. If we see that same sort of support for Sonder, I might even get it here in the pistol round. There's 3 members of G2 to stand off, but we'll put her in a position to really do damage to G2. Giuliano actually getting ahead of this. We'll deal with Laurie. Sonder kind of forced away from that opening engagement.
Whole lot of players here now.
Yeah, pause for thought actually as the rotation comes through. Mimi's here already. Flowerful and Benita really achieved much in mid yet. Maybe just trying to catch off a rotation, but that wall in Link definitely going to make things more difficult.
Yeah, it's just been broken, but you can see already that Mimi has gone back over there to check on anyone trying to make a little bit of room happen. They're looking back towards Art here. Flowerful, waiting. You know, just around the corner, there's the contact. How much was noted? Potentially 2, maybe 3. Petra had nowhere to go. Sonder waiting for the fall back towards site, gets that punish. But there are still 2 players here. Glance on the right and look to the left. You've still got Giuliano around this corner. And the smokes will only really be a problem for one side. That's some lovely damage from Sonder, though. Prize Giuliano out of her corner, and LaPlante should come in.
Should come through comfortably as well. Sonder and Flowerful tagged up a little bit, down to about 40 HP, but Benita already looking to pressure the backline. Mary wise to it, though. Takes a ton of damage. Can't find this kill.
Benita, by brute force, will take down 1. Glance did win her fight, though, so it is a 3v2. It's not out of realms of possibility. Need a couple of shots, and Flowerful ain't letting it slip. Mimi's gone. Now just Glance alive. And everyone's sitting tucked. Everyone playing patiently until then. Glance needs a quick kill here, and no one has given her options. She's only got 2, and there's only so much she can do. KP fancies her chances. Benita gets to the site, and they are buying time, and now there is none left. Shopify Rebellion take the lead.
Just a fantastic recovery. Potter's starting to talk about these sorts of things on the desk as well. Shopify's ability to really sit back and respond to some of the aggressive plays G2 are making. Giuliano had that first kill completely unscathed.
Yes.
As 3, they're able to back up onto site. And this slow burn from Shopify. Great isolation on Petra as well. There's very little that Petra can do in this scenario. I think actually this is... actually on the back of Mimi obviously rotating to double check that wall in Link. Steps here. I was going to say, KP's got to be a little bit careful. She does have the spike. I think it's just a little bit of a probe towards A. G2 very quickly walking mid here.
Sonder could be going far. This? Yeah. And another? No, okay, Petra.
Great trade.
Really nice. Didn't expect that with the classic. This round shouldn't amount to much, but you never know. We have to wait and see. These steps should be heard by the remainders, so they might be able to try and, you know, cause a little bit more damage, but at the very least it will be relayed to Mary.
Look at this weapon, yeah, Mary's...
Smaller, 4 shots, needs them clean. Not going to happen. Does get the Spectre back into hand. That's with
no
Glance
trap
now.
Here.
Okay, 1 more shot. Does land 1 on Benita. Could do with a little more here. The flank's still coming in. Mary, what do you do with this one? Do you keep that cool? And she's out of it. Now no more Headhunter, but Glance finds Flowerful. We're down to a 2v2. Still with that Bulldog in KP's hands. And Mary playing the time well, playing the position well. Oh, and KP really good understanding of that reposition. And Glance, this is hard work now. Spectre not quite situated well enough yet, but closing the gap. Laurie can check on it, but Glance wants on the site. Surely finds KP. Safe hands in the end, but it got very close there.
It did. As soon as they're able to retrieve this weapon as well, like I said, the trap positioned over towards window. So no real confirmation that flank was coming through. Mary desperately trying to play her life. Force Shopify out into the right side of site. Conscious here, again, G2 planting the seed that not afraid to play aggressively here on the defense. Great awareness from KP actually to find that kill onto a low HP Mary behind the box. We'll see if that does continue through some of the buy rounds for G2. Shopify actually come through. I mean, rifles across the board. Yes, Sonder and Laurie. The Vandal. Mary has to respect that knife. Deep ball here on B. You know, only one member of Shopify shooting it, so not too much information confirmed on the back of it. Glance and Mimi look a little antsy here. So maybe swing off that reveal.
Could have been, but now they've lost that edge towards it, I guess you could say, but...
Flowerful's got a very defensive TP set up here. You want to hold on to this angle. Will actually punish Mimi.
What a shot. Glance. Up for the challenge too. Petra now put to the stand. Finds two, looks for a third. Can't find it, but gave it a damn good go. KP still moving forward. But it's Glance, revealed, noted, falls away. Can they slip away safely? No.
KP's got the spike, though.
To stand and fight. Yeah, you're right. KP could be in so much danger, but the bailout team's on the way here. No idea that was coming. Benita gets there so quickly to find Glance and alleviate the pressure on KP.
Great awareness from Flowerful as well, destroying the TP of Giuliano, trying to get into the back lines here. It's just Mary and Giuliano to try and make this work on the retake. A deep hold here from two members of Shopify.
Something quiet about this. KP retaking that space
So
back
proactive.
up towards Art. Giuliano, a 1v3. This would be a lot to ask. Decides to clear towards Art, sees nothing.
Shopify just giving nothing away to G2.
Yeah. Giuliano knows that this one not looking like it's going to happen. No, indeed. Denied by Flowerful. 9 now. That big rifle round now done. And again, they came in that with what? Two rifles and 3 bulldogs,
effectively call it the bonus with what they brought into that, right? Again, able to get rifles across the board with the 2 bulldogs included, but round 3 converted here. This after actually fantastic hold from Petra. Great support actually from Glance as well to get that gravity well off. Like I said, exposing KP as the solo member of Shopify towards Art there with the spike. But the Defen just too strong for Glance. Didn't know which way to really commit to hold on.
At 10 rounds, we do start talking about the upset potential here between these
definitely.
two. Which is looking very likely. Mimi doesn't like that narrative, wants to turn it, and they try and make something of it, but Flowerful and Laurie way too sharp with it, way too quick with it today. Not going to come in. The last 2 players, Petra and Mary, not given much of a look into this round.
The timing on this execute as well. Able to get the plant down before the smokes even expire. Petra and Mary will try and find something on the way back through here, but damage almost doesn't matter in this round. Flowerful 21 and 11 now. Let's get the half defuse here. Well, actually, no, Flowerful going to come through. Flowerful tucked all the way into secret. And that's a little concerning. G2 need to make a stand in this second half, and it needs to come now. Let's look at them losing this buy round, and it feels like Shopify reached 12.
Yeah, we haven't really seen much depth coming out from G2 yet on this side either, so I'd be surprised if they don't pull the timeout plug here just for a conversation's sake.
Flowerful starting to run away with this, though.
Yeah. I mean, considering you made Mary look quiet, who's been one of the highlight players, that's saying a lot. Flowerful is absolutely lighting up the board, and G2 willing to try and take themselves back into the fight once again. It's a heavy lean towards the A side here coming out from Shopify, dealing with the wall almost instantaneously.
Forces out so early as well. Sonder able to get ahead of that slow walk from Mimi. And almost hitting the panic button here just to make sure they can avoid this execute, but on the back of the information, Giuliano actually heads towards Mary on B site. Shopify haven't exactly given it up just yet. Maybe considering the possibility of a flank coming through. But G2 looking a little rattled. Like I said, it's very deep hold. This is uncharacteristic for G2, particularly from what we've seen on Pearl previously.
It certainly is. And destroying that horn now may give you the idea there's still more dedication towards this A site than there actually is. They're leaving one here, that being Sonder. The rest are slowly heading towards B. You have that curious double stack on the other side of things. Giuliano and Mary.
I'm pissed.
Contact will be had.
Sonder's trying to fake,
Mary.
eh? It's drawn the rotation.
Well. Oh my god. They've all gone for it. And surely you're
hook, line,
panicking.
and sinker.
You're panicking now because suddenly there was only one. And all that attention, all of that work, all that time you played patiently has now gone to nothing. Surely 11 from this spike is down. They're in the post pod, Giuliano. Where did you just find that on KP? Flowerful waiting on that contact as soon as they commit towards the site. Nothing really revealed just yet, Giuliano. Maybe looking to flash in. I think Flowerful's seen so much, but Petra faster to it. Laurie, though, just playing the corner.
Oh my god!
Laurie! I have never seen anything so clean Giuliano left in the 1v1 against the two classics here. Giuliano and Benita rolling back the years. Giuliano filthy with the aim, but Benita needs to play this cool, calm, and collected, and she does! Shopify Rebellion, truly rebels in this, do not care they are facing the Titans. It's 11 now.
I said G2 walking the tightrope in terms of the economy here. They're so desperate to rotate and get ahead, almost prevent a site hit coming through once again. And Sonder to just plant, well, create enough chaos here on A site. Popping the ultimate, draws Mary and Giuliano away from this hold. So clean from Laurie, though. Benita, cool, calm, and collected to close things out.
Timeout now coming in for G2, pumping the brakes a little.
Like I said, though, that was the round that almost gives Shopify, you feel like it gives Shopify access to 12, and then it's,
yeah, they're here.
Like I said, G2 then continue with the same trend we've seen the last few rounds, which is stepping on eggshells, right? In terms of the finances.
Still a believer, Zaz.
Yeah, still believers out there, yeah.
Yeah, she's fine. Like, it's doing it, it's, you know, getting a narrative out of it, doing it for the story, you know what I mean? Get them feeling hopeful before you crush them. But you're right, I feel like that this round that's just occurred, the one, you know, that's got them to 11, is that gateway round as well, because it does get you the money on your side. The ult's still sitting pretty nicely for them as well. They have a lot working in their favor here.
Concern B, and Mary's had a quiet couple of rounds, which has struggled to get that tour de force online, which is a massive tool when you are kind of struggling financially. To throw that in, have a buy in hand, and also just being stupid OP in the hands of Mary as well. But this is going to be one they're going to have to play through with Sheriffs. Headhunter loaded up, yes, but some of the individual prowess now from these Shopify individuals starting to shine through.
What a surprise it is. I mean, you know, Shopify Rebellion had lived in the shadow of Cloud9 for so long, you know, constantly.
Like that, in the blink of an eye, become the Titan Slayers, the Miracle Makers. Like, this is, I mean, how crazy would it be to day before come through and then do it to G2 here?
Look, we're being realists.
We're map one. We're
map one, and it is a best of 5. We are realists here. This would be a monumental performance if Shopify can do that. Not only taking down Cloud9 White, not only then following up towards Team Liquid 2 to then challenge G2.
To also kind of build on that as well, to come out of such an exhausting day yesterday, to come in open here on Pearl and put up this good of a performance so far, where, I mean, kind of look at this blank canvas and you say, yeah, map 1's probably going to G2 with what we've seen previously at this event. Did see a pop-up earlier. Yes, Shopify are 2-0 here so far. G2 are 4-0 as well in terms of track record. So it's something that's definitely a big surprise to me. I would have said this almost felt a little front-loaded. Bind, if you park that for a moment, this veto feels like it's front-loaded for G2.
It could be. And if you are wondering, there is a tech timeout coming in here, so hopefully will be resolved nice and quick. Why have you got to say it, man? I got to say it. We're having a nice day. So yeah, tech pause is coming in, but hopefully they'll be resolved nice and quickly, and there won't be too many issues. Because honestly, this game's kind of just getting to that exciting point. Because I want to know how much this... Let's say they do win this map, right? Let's say Shopify Rebellion do win it. I wonder how much pressure that removes, how much confidence they gain. I mean, Mary doesn't look fussed yet. Mary's big chilling. Big chilling in that chair. Yeah, as I said, I think this map is the start of it, right? I think that's all we can say. It is truly just the start.
Sonder's fallen asleep. She's doing this with her eyes closed, apparently.
Hype it up a bit here, you know, it's grand finals. But no, we do need to see what this does to both teams, because as you said, Bind then coming up next, where would you say that traditionally would sit? In your mind,
I think it's a difficult one to really sit one side of the fence or not. All I'm kind of thinking, it's a strong map for Shopify. We've already seen very solid performances so far here in Berlin. I think that's one that, when I talk about being front-loaded, that's the one that you can almost kind of split down the middle, right?
Okay.
But that comes in with the expectation that you'd expect G2 to kind of brute force.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, who's winning?
Okay, I'm putting on my glasses. Hold on. Crowd, we might need you to help us out here. I think it's KP, though.
KP's dominating.
Yeah, KP. Oh, cameraman, we need both POVs.
Wait, is it 1-1? I didn't see that. I didn't see the first round.
I didn't see. Yeah, we messed.
Can we get the lower third adjusted?
Can we,
actually, we need the
just the rock paper scissors graphic. Production going like, no, Lauren, we can't do that. Actually, we're very stressed right now. We've got a lot going on here. But lovely game of rock, paper, scissors. I've heard someone say like scissor, paper, rock, and it really upsets me. Like it actually like makes me feel uncomfortable.
Well, that is weird because it's not in alphabetical order.
See, yeah, it
doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense.
We are not far away from getting back underway.
Who's told you that?
I just got a feeling players are sitting up. They're not lounging back anymore. So I was right.
Mystic Mike.
Mystic
there
Mike.
he is, coming back again. Thank you for your patience.
Somebody find the Mystic Mike image.
Please don't.
A classic.
11-6. Now, again, focus up, folks, because it could be 12 here. And looking at the money, it looks likely. This could be Shopify Rebellion on map point after this.
So Mary trying to probe towards A main here. Immediately punished. Sonder and Flowerful blow this site wide open. Look how quickly Sonder's all the way into spawn to make sure there's no lurking threat here. You probably just want to get this one over and done with. 3 to try and retake here. 2 Sheriffs, the Headhunter from Mary. No real pressure to even follow up on here.
It's looking like a Prime Gaming flawless at this rate.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Mary, can you do any damage on the way out?
Doesn't even matter.
Not
I mean, yes,
really.
the old progress great, but it's a buy round coming back through anyway.
Done
Not
for
even going to find
flawless.
the consolation.
All right. Let's see what that timeout was for. Not the tech one, obviously, but the actual tactical one that G2 went for. They have the operator coming out and a couple other bits and pieces to work in. They have the ults, they have the res, they've got a lot at their disposal. This has to be the round if they want to put up a fight here, because so far it has been genuinely flawless this entire half for Shopify. It's been, what, 6 back-to-back now?
Yeah, 6 on the bounce. Again, these haven't even really felt that close, right? G2 haven't really even been testing. Other than the bonus round that came down to the wire. Well, I say bonus round, there was rifles in there anyway.
To play,
This is a flawless second half here for Shopify. And once again, looking to...
Oh, no.
Oh my god, the flash and the nightfall was beautiful to try and find that opener.
Glance is just on the run, needs to get away, and the timing on this is everything. Benita. Give it away a little bit here. Giuliano.
Look at Sonder in spawn again.
How is Sonder here? So confident to take these fights towards Pit. And isn't falling away from it either yet. Spike's down. Ooh, that time might now be forced to fall away here. Challenge and no! Sonder does not deny.
Maybe with Tudo and the Reds. This could be huge for G2.
Okay, maybe there's still a chance here. KP turns the flash well for one, but it's a quick trade out. Flowerful and Benita standing. And look at Benny's position. That slow flank coming on in. The Prowler.
They still got the wall. It's ahead of the Cosmic Divide.
To get this defuse. Petra's got one, and the defuse can be started. Benny, can you get there in time? Tries to break the wall. They're standing there on the other side. G2, not out of it yet. Holding on just.
I was waiting to see if that wall got committed one way or the other, but it's actually very defensive. Great awareness here from Mimi of the possibility a flank comes back through R. But Sonder, like I said, beautiful setup here with a flash over the top. KP sending that ultimate through. Massive res coming through from Mimi. A crucial round win for G2. Come out of this though, licking their wounds just a little bit. Bulldog, light armor for Glance. That operator in hand, the tour de force available for Mary now.
They're doing a triple stack as well. Oh, it's not triple. Even I fell for it. That's what I get for looking at the mini map. But Mary does have a little bit of wiggle room here, still within the TP. That's a little bit of a...
Might even hear some of these steps, actually.
Could have.
Yeah, Shopify.
Yeah, definitely
No
now.
secrets about this on the way in.
Yeah, not subtle by any means. I don't think they care about being subtle anymore. Rinse, repeat. They go again. Sonder clears sight, clears close, sees nothing. Slow gets triggered, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. Again, CT postured up. Sonder.
The timing!
Oh, just turned away. Looks away, and Giuliano will take your life. And now with the player advantage, what do they do with this? Giuliano waiting for it. We do his little pop flash ready to go for Laurie there, but actually just a straight up challenge. Takes out Glance, but a quick trade. And now let's look at these post plants. Deep positioning. This is dangerous territory now.
Flowerful on the flank back through Art though.
It's going check though. Petra's not going to be looking away for it. No, Petra finds Flowerful, and now the defuse can be started. There's anything to stop it. Giuliano just being the bodyguard, body blocking if they have to. Mary stands there for them. Defuse comes in. Just about holding on for another round here. They are desperate to hunt the weapons down, and they walk away with a rifle each.
I mean, even so, 2 in response, but they do not feel comfortable whatsoever. Right down to the wire there. Ability now to get that tour de force into round 21. I said the timing for Sonda, I think she's expected. Yeah, you know, I've got away with murder in Spawn.
Yeah, got that god timing.
And there's just nobody's going to challenge me again here. With Giuliano. Mary lost for words after that one. Oof. Big opener.
Yeah, action speaking louder than words there for Mary finding Sonda.
Who's been causing so many problems in the last few rounds.
Even just with the space she's been
Exactly.
taking. It's not even just the frags, which she's getting plenty of, but that deeper, you know, CT play pushing through pit. Now let's see what the options are for Shopify. Eyeing up middle potentially, but we know that that wall's in place. That's not going to be an access point for them. Where else do they go now?
Stacking up another 20 seconds or so on the wall if they're going to wait for that to decay. All the way down. G2 happy to hold on to it. See the slow orb on the backside of it as well, so diligence shown here from Mimi, just in case there was going to be a pop flash as it fell. But no utility left. And the last 2 rounds have been down to Mimi's wall alone.
Bring them down.
Okay, first counter utility noted, really, from Shopify after they've hit the brakes, after Sonda got picked. So, noting presence towards Art, but it is going to be that readdress here. Nice entry from Laurie. They clear for Giuliano, though, working through B-Link, surely. They look towards it, Glance gets all the attention so far. Giuliano set up for success. Makes a bit of a meal of the first, but does get it done. Laurie goes down, but it's KP with the trade. So still, they have 2 players alive here, but they have no real space or access points towards these sites.
Actually,
14 seconds, I don't think they can even make it.
I was going to say, Cosmic Divide committed.
10 seconds left.
It's going to be tight. Yeah, it's going to be desperate, and it's going to be in the open.
Nah,
not even going to
not
make
gonna
it here. Not even going to try for it. Benita.
All right, ain't over yet. That's 9 now, Mike. G2 clinging on to life.
Clawing their way back into this as well. Again, it's by the finest of margins, though.
Yep.
Here, if we don't find that opening engagement going in favor of Mary and Sonda doesn't fall, potential here for Shopify to continue. I mean, here with the suppress as well. Giuliano couldn't even TP out here, so it's lucky actually the second kill comes through just to bail her out.
There's still financial
Yeah,
support
there is,
here
yeah.
for Shopify. They're still in a good enough position to get these buys going. Look at the odds as well. Sonda's still got hers. KP as well. Hers online. Other side, Petra's maybe got theirs here, but Mary just burnt theirs. So you are starting to see them really grind it down. And I'm looking at this early challenge towards double doors here. Quick pressure, and the answer maybe from G2 is to look towards the extremities. Postured up, posted up on both sides.
Yeah, G2 effectively now just putting it down to either the wall or the trap in Art or Link.
Face your fear!
Wow.
Trying to take space elsewhere. A very, very early nightfall here, but
Obscuring vision.
at least the information that it's clear. And Sonda already looking to hit this execute.
Wow, but Benny also finding value on the other side of the map is massive. Mary, lovely positioning though. This crossfire could be nasty. There's the trade out though. Good work from Flowerful, kind of all-encompassing towards this A site. Look towards Glance. Not noted, has not been seen yet. Now we'll have to give away the game. They know of the position. Plants could be coming in, nothing to deny that for now. Laurie tucked on the site. Pops the ult, and we look at what's remaining. 3, Petra, Giuliano, and Glance. They keep them humbled to the site for now, looking for that bailout, which would be Petra potentially.
There.
What else do they have to work through here? Looking for maybe the trade. Petra's got 1. Still need to clear this back line. KP, Benita, Flowerful, all sitting this side. That's massive. That should at least catch 2, maybe not the 3rd. And Glance pushed up at the same time. Flowerful holding the line. Diffuse started. Giuliano needs support here. And where was Petra in this? Well, she wasn't alive anymore. Benita's got her dead, and Shopify Rebellion. That's map 1, and one we would have put with G2 here.
Absolutely. And no shame in saying that. Shopify played a fantastic game here on Pearl. Almost catching G2 off guard. That second half was so one-sided. And running away with things, G2 unable to get a steady footing in terms of the economy.